Hi everyone, I'm GREYMOND. I'm an OCD recovery coach with more than 10 years of experience helping people recover from OCD. Prior to that, I had severe OCD myself that I fully recovered from, and as do my clients. So if you wonder, can you fully recover from OCD? Absolutely, yes, you can.
Today, I want to talk to you about the number one thing all my clients tell me and why it's important for you to understand this. The number one thing every client tells me, I swear to you, every single one says the same thing. The phrase will be familiar to you, but it feels so real. So you need to make that it feels so real be your baseline. Yes, your OCD feels very real. Their OCD feels very real. My OCD, when I was going through OCD recovery, felt very real. It always will feel real. It can come with images, thoughts, sensations, urges. It can even come in dreams. You feel like you actually want to do something. It can be also false memory. What if I did something and forgot? Or what if something else happened? Or, I mean, it goes on and on. All of those things are classic OCD symptoms. Some people get one of them, some people get a few of them, some people get all of them. So view it as that it's just classic OCD. I don't need to take it seriously. I don't need to react to it. I'm going to make a brave choice to refuse, even though it feels painful, because guess what? Everybody else is making that same brave choice. Look at how many people are watching these videos. Every one of those people also can say the same thing. I guarantee you, they can all say the same thing. Yes, my OCD feels real. That realness is based on how strong your anxiety is. So anxiety is 10 out of 10, feels 10 out of 10 real. Anxiety is 7 out of 10, feels 7 out of 10 real ish. So view it as just that it's just because you are so frightened. There's so much anxiety happening. And just a side note here that sometimes people say, but I don't feel anxiety towards my thoughts. But in that case, what's getting you is being anxious about not being anxious. I'm so anxious that I don't feel anxiety anymore. What does that mean? Does that mean I'm actually a bad person that I don't feel anxiety? Or does that mean I actually could do something or did something that I don't feel anxiety and you're anxious about it? So if you are saying, but I don't feel anxiety, yes, you still have anxiety. You just have anxiety about not feeling anxiety, and OCD is attacking you from that direction. So, yes, OCD feels real. Right now, for you, for everyone watching, it feels real. Take that as baseline. Don't take that as, oh, but it means something that it feels real. Yes, it means that you have OCD. You know, something I say to clients a lot is the reason why a lot of people who don't have OCD have a hard time understanding how you're feeling. And I'm sure everybody who has dealt with OCD has dealt with that as well. And the reason why they have such a hard time understanding you is because they never feel this anxious. They don't even understand what that feeling is like. So, this feeling of anxiety, whether it's anxiety about the OCD directly or anxiety about not having anxiety, that level, they don't get it. They don't get it because that's not how a brain generally operates unless they have OCD. So, this is all more proof to you that this is OCD. And not to give you reassurance, but you have to understand that these are all parts of this mechanism. And if you learn to recognize them, like, oh, feels real, must be my OCD. The flavor of OCD panic is very unique in its intensity, that it overtakes your entire day. I mean, maybe when you start to recover, it's slower, of course, but in the beginning, right? It overtakes your entire world in that moment when you get a thought. I mean, we've all experienced this. So that's your telltale sign that that's OCD. Follows your usual classic theme or themes. Again, OCD gives you the same storylines, same round and round we go. Take that as, oh, that's the same mechanism. I'm choosing to disregard. Instead of paying attention to it, I'm going to make a brave choice to disregard. And it really is a brave choice. And you're trying to do the best you can with not giving in, even though it feels super scary. And it does feel super scary. And you are very brave for pushing through. And, I mean, people with OCD are generally such brave souls. And I see people doing extraordinary well and at the same in their recovery, and at the same time, um it's so extremely difficult. They're pushing through so hard to make those numbers, to reduce the numbers, to reduce rumination. It's not easy. It's every day doing your best. And when I see that with clients, it's doing a heroic act every single day. And you don't get a chance to have an off button. You don't get a chance to take a break. You're in this, video game, and you have to keep going. But I promise you, there is a way out of it. You just need to reduce rumination. You just need to reduce compulsions. Like I said, everybody's situation is pretty much very similar. Thoughts, images, emotions, sensations come in, they feel very real. The person starts to ruminate or do compulsions. The more compulsions or rumination they do, the worse they get. Once they start to do less, they start to recover. If you track it, if you're on top of it, if you're accountable, you will recover a million times faster. So it's just that every day, no matter what. Same like a groundhog day, but make it like a recovery groundhog day where did recovery work yesterday? Got a little bit ahead. The numbers lowered a little bit. Now we go to the next level. It was 170, now 160 every 3 hours, right? In terms of the minutes. Started out 180, 3 hours out of 3 hours, then went to 170, 160, 150, and then eventually you will get to zero. But it won't happen unless you actually start to actively do recovery work. I promise you this works. So next time you say to yourself, but the thoughts feel super real, believe me, they do for everybody. For everybody. And once you start to reduce, again, the realness will feel strong depending on the level of anxiety. And you will start to see kind of, yeah, okay, it feels real, but also kind of feels false. That's like 5 out of 10, right? So another important point I wanted to make here too is I get this question a lot, that when you start to have a lot more good days, can bad days still come in and knock you for a 10? With the intensity, the level of intensity, can it be still a 10? Yes. And I see this all the time where a person they started out, every day was bad. Every day was 10 out of 10. As they start to do better, they start to lower. So then they're going like, say, 5, 5, 5, like in terms of general level of anxiety throughout the day, right? 5, 5, 5, and then again 10, right? And then maybe they had a month of fives or threes, and then something just came out of nowhere and again push them down for a day or so. So if that's happening to you, that happens to pretty much everybody. Don't take it to mean anything, as long as these breaks between those bad days are starting to get longer. So if you had a day break between the bad days, then few days, then a week, that's good. But if you're starting to see that the bad days are just becoming more and more frequent, becoming every day, then you're doing something wrong. So then you have to really examine your behavior. And the question I always ask my clients, and literally this is what I say in sessions, is where are you feeding the thoughts or your OCD, depending if they're doing physical compulsions? Where are you feeding it? Are you seeking reassurance? Are you ruminating? Are you Googling? Are you trying to figure it out in your mind? Are you doing compulsions? Are you doing avoidance behaviors? All of that is the power up that OCD needs to keep you trapped. So all of that has to be reduced by a little bit each day. And that's the recovery work. And yes, it feels real. When you're disregarding, the thoughts will not go away. They will continue to bug you. But you have to show your brain that this doesn't matter. Just like you showed your brain before that it does matter, now we have to kind of wind it back. So, and that's what we're doing. And I'm telling you, it's worth it. It works, but you have to do it. I hope you find my videos helpful. Thank you so much for listening. We will be doing live chat every day. I'm going to start it in the evening, and I'll keep it going. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to keep it going for overnight. In North America, it would be overnight, but in the other parts of the world, it would start to be kind of daytime. So we're trying to find a nice middle between time zones where it works for everybody. Thank you so much for watching. I will be back tomorrow with another video, and live chat will be open in probably about an hour.